Cheers, and welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren, and today, it being the Christmas season, you have asked, you shall receive. I will be reacting some more Would I Lie to You, and this time I will be reacting to some Bob Mortimer. People in the last video really wanted me to react to him specifically, so that is what I shall do. I do know a little bit about him because I did see Taskmaster, which is kind of how I got a little bit more into some more of the British game show type things, as well as, like, you know, the Big Fat Quiz. So I've seen all of those. I've seen all of Taskmaster, the UK version. So I do know a little bit about Bob Mortimer, enough to know that he is an interesting person, which hopefully means that I will have some difficulty figuring out whether or not he is lying or telling the truth. I am looking forward to this. I do have a lovely Christmas gift that was given to me by my roommate for an early Christmas present. It is a giant candy cane. It's so big. Giant candy cane full of Fireball. It is huge. Like, I can't even get my hands the whole way around it, which is excellent. I can't, like, they don't, like, I can squeeze, like, even if I squeeze the actual, I can't get my hands away. I can get my hands the whole way around my wrist, no problem. Like, they go the whole way. I can't get it around that thing. It's massive. I am obsessed. I love it. This is my lovely Christmas present. It is going to just hang out with me and watch with me. I'm looking forward to getting into some of this Bob Mortimer stuff. So let's see what kind of crazy stories he's got for me today. I'm going to do two. So the first one is, does Bob Mortimer... It's going to be Bob Mortimer, the Cockroach King. I'm excited to see what makes him the Cockroach King. Shush. All right, so we're going to do Bob Mortimer, the Cockroach King. And that is what we are going to start with. So let us see if he's the king of the cockroaches or not.
My first taste of fame was when the local newspaper dubbed me the Cockroach King.
David's team. What was the newspaper?
My local. It was called the South London Press.
So, are you from South London?
I was in the lead-up to the headline, The Cockroach King.
Why were you in the public eye doing what?
I was a solicitor at the time, and I sued the local authority.
Okay, wait. Is a solicitor the British word for lawyer? I feel like... Because here, we use solicitor to mean like a salesperson. But I feel like they use it for attorneys. Right? In Britain?
Because of cockroach infestations in the council houses. Yes! That's what I did.
And of course it was that kind of style in court that won the day.
We settled outside of court, actually. But
Because there were cockroaches in the court, perhaps?
I had to change the names because these are real legal proceedings that we're talking about.
Right. Well, why does the fact that it's real legal proceedings mean you have to change the names?
Because I don't think it's fair to say that, let's say she's called Barbara Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Lived in the horror of cockroach infestation.
Were you representing Barbara Lighthouse?
I was, yes.
She'd engaged your services?
She's engaged my services. I visited her property.
Must have been ages to get to the top.
There were Egyptian cockroaches. So I had an idea, right? I said, I bet this is bad for your mental health, living with cockroaches. And I took them to the magistrate's court on a private...
Wait. Did he take the cockroaches to the magistrate's court? Okay, so I was right also earlier. Being a solicitor in Britain terms is a lawyer. Haha, I knew a thing. But wait, is he saying he took the cockroaches to the courthouse?
criminal prosecution under the Public Health Act.
Why are you counting every letter in the sentence? Are you working out how much to charge her?
You mentioned the Egyptian cockroach.
The Egyptian cockroach,
How
yeah.
many? I wasn't aware there were different types.
They live in the concrete.
Really?
And they can actually live off the concrete that the buildings are made
So,
of.
so, Bob, Bob, hold
Eat
it.
concrete.
Yep.
Bob, they got some hard cockroaches.
No, I have heard of that though. Isn't that a thing? I really feel like that's actually a thing. Like the particles or the particulates or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure I've actually heard of that.
They live in the concrete.
They nip out to go behind the fridge or the cooker, or to turn the light out.
What were the size of these Egyptian cockroaches?
They're long and thin, slip right in.
That's my profile on Tinder.
It is odd the cockroach king would suggest a champion of the cockroach rather than an opponent.
Or
of the
in fact, their leader?
Yes.
Did you lead the cockroaches away like the Pied Piper?
No, I didn't.
He sounds disappointed about that now. It's like, oh no, I hadn't even thought of that. Just like based on the fact that I do know that there have been multiple instances of people suing. I mean, there's been instances where like people have sued actual animals before, which is amazing and I love it. So it's like, and I feel like he wouldn't lie about his old job. Like, that's so easy to check. And it's like, would be pretty easy for someone here that he's known for a while to know if he used to be a lawyer. I don't know. I feel like this is a true story. And he knows a lot about the cockroaches for if it's a lie. Like that's a lot of information. I mean, for me, I was like, I kind of know that there's different kinds. We did have some cockroaches in for like a little bit of time in college. We lived in a ground floor unit, and we found a couple, and like we'd deep cleaned everything, and there wasn't really much we could do. We couldn't. It wasn't like basically it wasn't our fault. I'm saying we weren't gross. And we only ever found like 4 or 5. There was just a couple, but like, you know, I remember them looking like cockroaches. Like I wouldn't have been able to specify, you know? So I think he's telling the truth on this one. I think he's telling the truth. For whatever reason, I assumed that it would be a much earlier time that he found fame. The first time I was in the newspaper, I was like 7. So like,
What happened is I got an expert from the University of Cambridge called Broccoli High Kicks. Again, I've changed his name. His brief from me was, can you in any way argue that this is contrary to public health? He confirmed it, went to court. It's all coming ever so clear now.
oh, and also, yes, I would say living with cockroaches is bad for your like mental health. Living with any kind of vermin is like bad for your mental health. We had last winter we had mice, and we don't know where they came from, because I mean, I'm sure that they were around, but like we never saw any until somebody in our building started putting down poison. Because all of the sudden, mice were showing up in our unit, just dead or dying, just in random places. And it was horrifying. It was so awful. Oh my God. It was the worst. So like, yeah, living with these kind like bugs or mice or roaches, anything like that is just so like, and you're so tense. You're so tense all the time. And it's like you don't want to leave. Like you can't go out in the dark. Like if it's nighttime and you have to go to the bathroom, it's like, well, maybe I'll just fucking hold it because it's awful. My roommate literally stepped on a mouse, like because it was, you know, it was dying in the middle of the kitchen or something, and she just didn't see it because it was late and it was early. I'm sorry, it was early, and she had her bare feet and she just stepped. It was It's like you can absolutely argue that if the companies are not doing their job by keeping the vermins out, that is bad for your mental health. It is so stressful.
We went to court, yeah? Ronnie Omlets was the housing officer.
The weird thing is you haven't changed his name, have you?
And what was she called? Barbara Lighthouse. Barbara Lighthouse brought a clear jar of the cockroaches with her and poured them over Ronnie Omlets. Right? Of course, he was very frightened, didn't know what to do, at which point Barbara Lighthouse said, I think I've made my point, you know, to the housing officer. Yeah. This is what I live with. So the council agreed to rehouse. Next day, the cockroach king.
I believe it. I do believe it. I believe that someone would do that. I believe it would work. I believe the story.
Right, what's he going to say, David? What do you think?
It's that bizarre that only Bob could make it up, so I think that's true.
That doesn't make sense. If you're saying only Bob could make it up, then he could have made it up.
No, only Bob can make it up like that.
Right.
So convincing.
Yeah. So we're in trouble, aren't we? Because you're saying that if anyone else had said it, it would definitely be true because they couldn't have invented it. The one person who's saying it is also coincidentally the only human who could also have invented it.
Oh my God, I love
What
David
a
Mitchell.
terrible set of circumstances. You think it's true? Do you think it's true?
Yes, let's say it's true.
We're going to go true.
OK. Now, Bob, truth or lie?
It's true.
I was telling the truth.
Knew it. I knew it. Bam. I knew it. I knew it was true. I love it. All right, that was fun. Shh. Shh. I knew it was true. Yeah, no, there's just too much about that was like, there's absolutely no way it was it was false. Like that, there's too many details in there, and I can absolutely, and again, as someone who has lived with various kinds of nonsense before, it's bad. And I know enough about like lawyers that it's like, yeah, that's something that would happen. I believed it. I knew it was true. Bam. I'm good at this game. Okay. We will do one more before we get going. This is my well, I mean, it started its life as a Pomtini. So it's just well, it's more of a blood orange Pomtini because I decided to get hella fancy with it. So it is blood orange Pellegrino, the Arancita. It is Tito's. It is a little bit of pomegranate liqueur, and it is a little bit of lime juice. I usually have martinis, you know, up over, but this time I was like, well, I was feeling lazy and I didn't feel like shaking anything or dirtying my shaker, so I just poured it in over ice and it was fine and it's still good. So that is what this drink today was. Very lovely, very nice. We will do one more Bob Mortimer tale. This one is called we're trying to find out if Bob Mortimer was frightening locals and asked to leave town. If anyone wants to know why I was in the paper and interviewed at age like 7, it's not that exciting actually. It's because I was at a assembly, like a school assembly. And it was a dare assembly and I was like, and they always made us just like crowd into the cafeteria where they had removed all the tables and then you had to sit on the floor and it was so uncomfortable and I was so short. I was so small. So I was like, I can never see. My butt hurts. I'm like hunched over like this. It's the worst thing to do for an hour and a half. So I would usually kind of go to the back. I would like leave my class, wander over to the back, and I would just stand there kind of around with the chaperones for a little while. One time though, there was a desk near the door and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and sit on the desk in the very back, just like got all propped up against the wall. Oh my God, it's the most comfortable I've ever been at a assembly like that. So I was just sitting there watching the whatever. It was like, I don't know. They were telling us not to do drugs and there was a lion. I don't remember. But suddenly, like, the lady that I didn't know next to me, she's like, hey, by the way, can I interview you? I was like, okay. And then, like, 2 days, like, the next day, 2 days later, the next day, like, the interview that I did was in the Baltimore Sun. Like, it was in, like, the big newspaper. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting any, like, all right, sure. So that is why I got in the paper when I was like 7 years old, because I was impossible to corral and refused to sit with my class in the auditorium because I was like, it's not comfortable. Huzzah! All right, now let's go. Let's find out if Bob Mortimer was ever asked to leave town. I did have the police call to me for loitering once. That was interesting. They got real upset with us.
Police once ordered me to leave town, unspecified, because I was frightening the locals.
David's team, what do you think?
Could you give us some context, Bob?
I'll give you the name of the town. It was Castle Douglas.
Ah.
Where is that?
It's southwest Scotland.
How did I know it was Scottish? Oh my gosh, I'm amazing at this. It's probably because Douglas, for whatever reason, was like Castle. I don't know. I just assumed immediately it was Scotland.
And why were you in Castle Douglas?
Was it a tour or something?
No, it was a long time ago. I was only 17, 18, that kind of age. And
A numerical age, that kind. Rather than iron or bronze. That's a different kind of...
Or, Aquarius, Enlightenment, any of those.
I was with two friends trying to get as close to the Gulf Stream as I possibly could.
What? What do you mean you wanted to get close to the Gulf Stream?
It seemed such an appealing, far-off, miraculous thing, this hot stream of water so near us, that it was hard to believe in it just from the textbooks.
But it's not like a spa. It's a massive flow within the ocean.
Yeah, but
you can't see it.
Well, if you're at the Logan Botanical Gardens...
There's a lovely view of the Gulf Stream.
No, but you can see the effects of the Gulf Stream. It's like a tropical gardens, and so in that way you sense the influence of the Gulf Stream.
Okay. First off, the first thing we have to think about in order to determine if he's going to be telling the truth or not is Bob Mortimer that kind of nerd? Because there is, in fact, in existence in this world, that specific kind of geek. They exist. The question is if Bob Mortimer belongs to that demographic. I don't know. I do not know if he is, but also what a weird, if this story already starting, we're going to just start here right now. If this story is not true, that is a weird thing to start with because it's already so nonsensical. So I'm going to say like gut reaction right now. I've got, we'll keep going. I think he's probably telling the truth. He was freaking out the locals and asked to leave town because he is in fact that dork. That's who he is. He is in fact this kind of dork. I think he is. We'll see if I change my mind about that, but I think he's probably telling the truth.
Well, no, it's
Well,
extraordinary.
I know all teenagers are absolutely mad on the Gulf Stream. They can't get enough of it, and it's
And flowers.
But
that was one reason amongst many.
But the police of Castle Douglas don't mind the teenagers who'll flock there to admire the effect of the Gulf Stream. So what was it that you did that put their noses out of joint?
We scared the locals, apparently, because we were wearing very grotesque masks.
Why were you wearing masks?
If
you're going to gardens, why would you wear a mask?
Ah, well, here's the thing. That's a perfect question.
Yeah. Just before you answer it.
Is the answer we were teenage boys? Because, yeah, you know, sometimes teenage boys just do a thing, and, like, it's not just teenage boys. Like, oh my God, we got in so much trouble, like, all the time when I was, like, a teenager, because it's like you do dumb shit and, like, freak out the parents. It's the parents who freak out because they think you're gonna, like, fall off the back of the car as it's, like, driving over the speed bumps in the parking lot or some nonsense because you're, like, holding on to the roof rack, not in a totally random and non-specific example. And then the band parents come around the corner and they see you all doing like ski jumps in the van over the it's fine, and they just freak out at you, and it's like it's a whole thing. My point is, yeah, sure, they wear stupid masks and we're being weird, like, yeah, I can see teenagers doing that.
Have a minute.
We were travelling in a Morris Minor, and we were sleeping in the car. There was three of us. That's me, mate Harry Harriman, and Steve.
Stieberman.
Steve Stieberman.
Steve, by the way. He was. You just called Steve, by the way.
He was. Steve, by the way. Steve, by the way, as in incidentally.
Yes. Anyway, we had these...
You're wearing these masks?
We're wearing these grotesque...
Why are we wearing these masks?
We're wearing these masks because we didn't have anywhere to sleep and we were sleeping in the car.
Right.
They'd been given us by Harry Harriman's mum, yeah, to keep us warm at night because of the heat generator.
No, see, that's not why I would have thought. I would have thought that she would have given them the masks. Like, I believe someone would have given them some masks if they knew they were going to be sleeping in the car in order to make a potential, like, a mugger or something think twice. Because, like, if you see a car, like, and you want to, like, break into it, and then you look in and there's just these, like, grotesque masks in, like, there's these, not masks, you see these grotesque faces in there, you're gonna, like, maybe not, that might be freaky. That would be unsettling. I don't see how, I mean, maybe something about sleeping, like the heat, but I would have thought that it would be to scare people away on purpose so they don't mug you.
What, grotesque latex masks?
Yes. They were just old men's masks, but they were to keep us warm. Harry Harriman's mum she sold these stuff from home, and she sold another thing which was called a jobble top, yeah? Which was a bobble hat that made it into a jumper. And the big bobble was at the back and it buttoned down the front. And that was...
I'm telling you now, right, if this is a lie, and they end up saying lie, I will say to you, why did you make it more difficult for yourself? by mentioning the joggle top, or whatever it was called.
Because I'm imagining my sleeping arrangements and think, yes, we had the latex masks on and these giant, like, what they're called jobble tops.
Right,
Okay. So...
Also, like, what season is it? That's what I want to know, because it's like, I've been camping and it's been cold. I've been camping in the fall when it's chilly. It gets cold at night in, like, the East Coast when you're camping, and it's like, yeah, it's freezing, but then, like, you're, like, bundled up and you've got, like, your, I mean, you have to sleep with your, like, freaking actual hat on, but never a mask over my face. I've never done that, and, like, that's strange. That would not be comfortable for me. I would not be able to sleep with something over my face. I still think he's telling the truth, though. I just think that this lady was weird.
If you're wearing a sleeping mask and you're scaring the locals, like, normally the locals would be in bed when you're going to sleep,
No,
and it's dark, and you're in your car and you got a scary mask on. You know.
No, we were just on our drive, daytime drive from Dundee to Castle Douglas.
With masks
as
on.
as we went past
Keep
people,
your faces warm.
we were staring at them with our scary masks.
Why did you?
Because they're teenage boys. Don't ask why they were doing that. If you are a teenager and you are given a terrifying old man mask, because he said they're old, they maybe weren't supposed to be scary masks. If you are a person, and you know what? You don't even have to be a teenager. I would do this now, today. I'm fucking 30. I would do this now. If somebody gave me a spooky mask that was to keep my face warm when I was sleeping, there's no way in hell I'd wear it to go to bed. But you can bet if I was driving through the small town, I would have that on my face and just constantly. Yes, absolutely. This is a true story. They were 100% wearing these things in the daytime, specifically to freak out the locals. They were doing this.
We were staring at them with our scary masks.
Why did you not remove... Because I would say, from my experience of sleeping all night in a classic car in a latex mask and a jobble top, that you get quite clammy. And so in many ways, it's quite a relief to take the latex mask off for the next day's drive.
Yes, and Dave,
not to mention how it helps being able to see where you're going.
Yeah. But then, no, of course, we take the mask off in the morning, but then round about midday, you wanted to put it back on. Yeah.
At what point did the police get involved? Didn't the police get involved?
We parked up in Castle Douglas, right next to a shop, because we wanted to get one of their famous Scotch pies. As we came out of the shop, I was grabbed by a policeman, and it was a sergeant, by the way.
Sergeant, by the way. So that's how you got away with it. You said, don't worry, that's me dad.
Maybe it was.
I'm a sergeant, by the way.
So the sergeant,
by the way,
he took me to the police station, and they
So he arrested you?
Yes, taken and put in a room, and then the sergeant and a plainclothes detective came in.
plainclothes detective. Oh, yeah. What? CID have now got involved.
And then they said, you're going to have to wait here. We've sent for a specialist from Edinburgh.
and then, as we sat in, it came in and said, right, what's with the funny faces? They said, what's with the funny faces?
Yeah, I was like, where's the Scottish accent, bro? What's with the funny faces? Like, you gotta... Come on, Mortimer. You're a comedian. You do work accents. I don't really, but... you know, you gotta do the accent if you're being a Scottish policeman.
Well, we explained what had happened, that we had these funny faces, that we slept in them, and that we're terribly sorry to have caused any offence.
So presumably then they released you?
Sergeant, by the way, followed us till we were out of the city limits. So that's my story. It's quite a holiday.
What do you think?
I know what I think.
What do you think?
I think it's true.
I think
You
it's
think
true.
it's true?
I think it's true.
That's not what I think.
I think it's 100% true. If it's not true, I don't know. What am I gonna do? All right, I've got a bunch of Tito's in here. A lot of Tito's. If it's not true, I am going to just like... I'll just go for a minute. Not a whole minute. Not a whole... I'll just drink a whole lot of this. It'll be more than a shot.
Kian, what do you think?
I'm going to go untrue.
OK, Cian's going untrue. Adil's going true. David?
My initial reaction is it's a lie. Let's say it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
Bob Mortimer.
I am so confident it's true.
Yes.
Was that story true? Or was it a lie?
It was true.
Bam! Yes! I don't have to do the thing. I knew it. Fucking knew it. Look, David Mitchell. Try to remember what it was like to be a teenage boy. Like, everything he said makes sense. Especially if you're looking at it through the lens of a teenage boy. I mean, okay, not necessarily wanting to check out the Gulf Stream. He said that was one of many things. that might have been a little fudgy. Like, they might have just been on a road trip, but like, no. That's such a like, absolutely. I'm gonna dance that one out because I'm amazing. And I knew that one. I'm good at this game. This is fun.
No faith in me, that's twice now.
It's twice now? Okay, what was the other one? I want to know what the other one where this guy was correct and David Mitchell didn't believe him.
Yes, it was true. The police did order Bob to leave town because he was frightening the locals.
That's awesome. I adore it. And you know what? Again, I'm just so good at this game. I'm really good at telling if people are lying, apparently. So maybe I should be a solicitor. But no. No, I'm just mostly an actor. But that was fun. All right. Okay, thank you. Everybody who suggested I do Bob Mortimer stuff. There'll probably be at least one more coming in the future. Good one. Good show. Well done. I'm going to have to... Hopefully I get to continue doing some more of these Would I Lie to You vids. Because this is good. This is fun. If there's anything else like this that you'd like me to react to, let me know, because... Especially if there's like a game involved, because I do enjoy that sort of thing. But no, it's like, that was fun and kind of easy. I feel like I've got my finger on this pulse. So if there's anybody who's like really difficult to tell if they're lying or not, let me know about them too. I want to have a challenge. I want to feel like I really have to like delve into the depths of my knowledge of people and human society, because that's fun. That's enjoyable. So yeah, absolutely. Just keep letting me know if there's anything else like that you want me to react to. Like I said, the Bob Mortimer stuff happened because people in the last video suggested I react to some Bob Mortimer like content. So if there's anything else that you'd like me to look at, please just let me know. That's what the comment section is for. So we thank you so very much. I had a lot of fun with that particular video. I mean, I'll probably check out some more Would I Lie to You on my own, just because, you know, it's right up my alley. And like I said, I already watch like Big Fat Quiz, and I watch Taskmaster. Like I watched some of those things already. People mentioned 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. So that's something that I would like to react to as well. So if you've got any specific videos from that show that you'd like me to react to, please let me know, because I would be fascinated. I'd be really, really interested in reacting to some of that as well. I've seen a couple of those videos, mostly because I like some of the poems I think I've seen, and I've seen one or two of the Russell Wilson? I don't know. The blonde with the big teeth. Whatever his name is. I've seen one or two of him on 8 out of 10 Cat Says Countdown. So, again, thank you so much for joining us on this channel on Americans Learn. If you've got any other kinds of content you'd like us to react to here, something that, like, again, most Americans aren't going to have access to or won't have knowledge of, if that is what we want to react to on this channel, we want to broaden horizons and expand our own. So if you've got anything else like that that you would like us to react to, let us know in the comments. We really appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.